Okay, going live. Oh, we are live. Yeah, I said going live. Hello, we are live. I said, hey, we're going live and we are live. I'm Kim Jacobs with the Kim Jacobs Show and super excited to be here in the studio with Mr. Joshua Proby, and glad to have you, Joshua. How are you today? And you're muted, but that's okay. We're gonna figure this out. Let's see.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice having me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And thank you so much, Neff, as well. I'd like to send a shout out to Nefertiti Best, who is incredible. So listen, everyone, grab your virtual seats right quick. We're going to get started. Today's episode, if you haven't tagged anybody before, I'm telling you, tag your friends, tag your family members, tag teens, tag parents of teens, tag everyone you can to invite them into today's broadcast. This young man has an incredible story that is a story of triumph that you don't want to miss. So make sure you go ahead and tag people and invite them to be a part of today's broadcast here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Welcome again, Joshua Proby, and we're going to start today's episode right now. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time. Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show. All right. Yes, everyone. It is the Kim Jacobs Show. And today we are here with Joshua Proby, and we're going to get this show started right away so that you can learn some information about him and be able to ask as many questions as you may have throughout today's broadcast. Joshua Proby is the founder of Peace for Poverty. He's a minister, an author, and a speaker. And his life is not one full of glitz and glamour, but one that's full of truth. So today you're going to hear the truth from Joshua Proby. And I'm not going to share every detail of his story because it'll take away from him being able to share his own journey. But despite his hardships he's faced in life, he has established a trucking business. He's also established a clothing business. He's also a motivational speaker. And he is a great example of how you can go from poverty to peace. Welcome, Joshua Proby.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Ms. Jacobs. I look forward to this. Thank you.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started right away because I don't even know the depth of your story myself. I actually researched some, but when I was reading, I was like, oh my goodness, this is something that needs to be on some international platform. So you're right on an international platform right here on the Kim Jacobs Show because people chime in from Philippines and from all over the place. So people are going to be hearing and watching this episode. So take us back, Joshua, into your childhood. I think that's probably the best place to start.
My childhood was kind of rough, but my grandmother raised me in the church. I thank her for introducing me to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So I'm definitely grateful for that. Grew up with my uncle, who is my brother because he was kind of like my brother, and just grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay,
that's where I was at.
Backstage, my sister, she's like, "Yay!" I can see her backstage.
Yeah, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I think at a very early age, that's where things begin to shift for me. Wasn't with my mother, never knew my father. So it was just kind of tough. And then as time went on, I was molested when I was younger. So it was like at that point in time in my life, things just began to change. A lot of things began to change mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You're going to church every day. You're there Sunday through infinity. If that's a
Right.
day, that means all week, you know. So you're there, but then at the same time, you're trying to make sense of what happened to you and trying to figure out, how could this happen? And, who am I praying to? Why am I praying to him? And just, before you can even really know how to process your emotions as a child, before you can even know how to feel, it's kind of taken from you. So as time went going forward, I struggled in a lot of different areas because I battled that. So as a youth,
How old were you when this happened, Joshua?
I was around 10. I was
Okay.
around 10 years old.
And this was with someone that you trusted or somebody you didn't know?
Yes, it was a friend of the family. Yes, it was. It was a friend of the family. So at that time, my grandmother raising so many children by herself, doing the best that she could. I never felt safe. It wasn't a safe environment for me. There was a lot of physical, mental, emotional abuse that I know now it wasn't intentional.
Right.
It was only simply because she was only raising us the best way that she knew how.
Let me ask you, because as I hear different things, and I might interject throughout the story today, because this is your true life story. This is not some movie. This is something you lived. And so when you were experiencing this molestation, did your grandma know, or anybody in your family know, or was it something you lived with by yourself and dealt with?
It was something that I lived and dealt with by myself. I actually didn't tell anybody I was molested until I was 31 years old.
Oh gosh. So were you constantly repeatedly dealing with this person? Because if it's a family friend and nobody knows, then are you being exposed to the person over and over again?
Well, I actually I asked my grandmother to go stay with my mother. That was a big reason why that decision was asked.
Okay.
Could I go stay with my mother? And then I was able to, but it was something that, I did have to continue to keep seeing him over and over and over again. And at that point, I just wanted to get away. I just wanted to get away from that environment, from that situation, and finally was able to go stay with my mother. So it was just from that day forward. It's kind of like you sit back and you think, and you're trying to figure out. You're battling so many things in your mind when you're going to school and you see other kids playing and and it's just like that same joy wasn't there. It was just kind of like an emptiness, as you go forward in your youth.
Well, what advice do you have for young people? Because I know you have so many. It's a multifaceted discussion that we're going to have today. But what advice do you have for young people that may be getting the opportunity to witness this show and they have never told anyone, and they may be an adult now watching, but what do you advise for young people that have experienced this level of trauma and that have lived with it for many years?
I guess I would just tell them to know the truth so you can escape from what is keeping you bound. And when you know the truth, there comes a point in time when you have to be bold and stand on the truth that allows you to be free. Is it comfortable? No. Is it going to be easy? No. There may be people that don't believe you. I dealt with that. I dealt with a lot of different things. I dealt with a different, from the outside looking in, people are always saying, well, why would a person not want to say nothing? Why would they not want to do this? And why would they not want to do this? Well, it could be in large part because when you do say something, the very family members, the very people close to you, because once they find out who it is, it makes it hard for them to believe that it ever happened. So it comes to a point in time where this is why families are broken together. This is why relationships are broken, because at times in life we become so emotionally attached to a person that when the truth comes out, the truth is hard to handle. So we stick to the emotion over the truth. And when that begins to happen, that's why people don't say nothing. That's why people stay quiet. That's why, they don't reveal certain things. So just know your truth, and don't be afraid of what the truth is, because the truth is exactly the thing that's going to allow you to be free from the pain that you were sitting in.
Wow, that's such a that and we're gonna pop that comment right in. That is just knowing your truth and so that you can escape and be free. This is some good information that we're already starting off with right here with Joshua Proby. And this is just the beginning of his journey, you all. So he took us back to his childhood. And here's one of the pictures I have. I think I have a picture. This is probably reflective of when you were at this phase in your life as a child, right? Right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me when I was younger, man. That was me when I was younger, man. That was actually before it happened. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
just an innocent young boy, full of life, excitement, and zeal.
Yeah, with that nappy hair going on. You know?
Well, you look like just like one of my kids, a mighty handsome young man back then. So you want the best for your children, and you want them to be able to enjoy their innocence and not have it stripped or taken from them. Listen, what I'm going to do is I don't normally do this, but I'm going to give like a 30-second break for a second for us to invite friends and family to be a part of this broadcast. Sometimes people will be like, I'm not tagging nobody while he's talking because this story is good and I'm not going to be holding my head down or anything. So take 30 seconds, invite your friends and family to today's broadcast. We're talking with Joshua Proby. All right, and we are back with Joshua Proby here on the Kim Jacobs Show, Peace for Poverty. And so right now we've talked a little bit about your childhood, and you took us through the age where you actually experienced molestation from a family friend and never shared it with anyone until you were the age of 31. And so I'm sure you'll tell us in your story how that was revealed to whomever you decided to trust that information with. But please tell us more about what happened throughout take us further up in your childhood.
As I began to grow up, of course, the first thing that was a resort to was to a form of rebellion. It was actually my way of venting my pain. So a lot of my irrational behavior was stemming from an actual reality that I was living in my mind. So I can't escape the reality of what's going on in my mind. So because I don't know how to talk about it, because I haven't been able to distinguish the emotions in which that I have, I'm trying to internalize and deal with it on my own. So as I'm going forward, the things that happen to me constantly keep replaying in my mind. So now I'm dating and I'm trying to make myself believe I'm not what happened to me. So you begin to organize, you begin to do all kind of different things that you're trying to make sense of, because the only reality it is everybody else is just seeing you.
Right.
So people are looking at your actions like, yo, what's wrong with him? Like, what's the problem? But not only am I living a regular life, but I'm also battling the thoughts that are in my mind, which is why the word of God says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right. So at the end of the day, like my mind it's stuck in a place where I felt lost. I felt hurt. So the very things that I felt, I began to inflict those on other people. So that's when my life of crime began to stop. I started stealing, then I started graduating into robbery, and it just started spiraling from there to the point where it was somebody took something from me. Well, I'm gonna take something from you.
And so that was a conscious. Let's stop there for a second. Right. You're saying at that age, that phase of your life, you made a conscious decision that because something was taken from me, I'm going to take something from somebody else. That was in your psyche.
Yeah, that was in my thought process. I would say probably around 14, 15. It began probably like around there, and then progressing to get worse as it goes on, because that's kind of like when something happens to you from a trauma state, right? It can be two things. It can either become your safe place, or it can become a place of conversation that leads to healing.
Right.
So when trauma happened to me, it was a safe place. So I stayed in the trauma. So whatever the trauma produced, that's what I gave back. So my trauma produced pain, frustration, anger, confusion. So that's what I gave back. I gave that back because that was my safe place, because
Right.
nobody knew this happened to me. So only person who knew that this happened to was me. So therefore, I'm going to give you back. I'm living the reality in my mind, while naturally you're looking at my actions and saying, what's wrong with him? Why would he do something like that?
Right.
But you have no idea the battle that I'm facing every day in my mind.
Wow. Well, you actually, I'm saying wow, but one of our studio audience members, Paula Shea Queen, says, hey, wow, this is like unbelievable. And everybody also, thank you. Welcome, Lotus Roche. She's also a host of a show, News You Can Use, and the Lotus Roche Ignites show. So you have another show host that's watching today. She has an international platform and shares, I'm sure she's going to probably want to connect with you as well. But she said, hey, please like, share, and subscribe to Kim's YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Lotus. Positive transparency. Great sharing, Joshua. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, all the way from Washington, D.C. is Lotus Roche. So thank you so much for being in the house. And anybody else that's here, if you type your comment and say where you're visiting in from, I'll make sure I put that comment up. If you have questions for today's guest, which is Joshua Proby, he's sharing his journey with us. Very transparent journey. Right now, he's a teenager, according to the story where we're leaving off at this point. And he is intentionally, according to what he's saying, intentionally inflicting some pain because of the pain that he's experienced in his life. So tell us further what's happened.
As I continue to keep going, it's the same thing. I get to meeting different people. You get to start hanging around different people. So again, you begin to wear so many masks. And so the mask fits the group that you're in. You know, so if I'm hanging with the basketball players, then I fit into the basketball mask. If I'm hanging with the street dudes, then I put the mask on of the street, because at the end of the day, no matter which one of these situations that I'm in, nobody can know what happened to me. So I'm going to overplay the role of each one of these individuals. Because
so in school, you're doing good. You're a regular school student and you're on the basketball team. You're living your regular life in that regard.
Right.
But then in a different vein, afterwards, you're taking that mask off and you're out doing some other things that you don't have no business doing.
Right. Most definitely. Wow. Most definitely. And that was just kind of like that was the side of me that after you live with something in your mind for so long and nobody else knows, the only prisoner in pain that it is towards yourself. It can't be towards anybody else but yourself. So I can't give you pain that I don't first experience myself. So nobody just wakes up and without an understanding of pain say, I want to cause you pain. Because if you don't know pain, how can you inflict it? So therefore, I knew pain in a way that took everything from me. So the only thing that I knew how to give back to you was pain. You know, I watched my grandmother be abused. I watched my mother be abused. I watched so many different things at a young age, up until the point to where I was molested, that all I've seen is pain. That's it. So the only thing consciously I know how to give back to you is pain. Wow. So that's what I gave the world. I gave the world all that I knew. And leading up all the way up into my 20s, it was just a repetitive cycle. I probably got locked up over 50, 60 times. Going back in prison, my grandmother, my mom, everybody's like, yo, what's wrong with them?
What's going on?
Yeah, my grandfather, he's the chair of the NAACP in Colorado.
So your family, they're successful. They're living their lives. And they're trying to say, come on, you're part of a good family.
Right. They're like, what's wrong with him? Why is he acting out like this? What's wrong with him? And, you don't know what to say, and you don't know how to say it. All you know how to do, because that's all you watch people around you do. You watch them suppress. You watch them hide. You watch them put the smile on. You watched them do everything that they needed to do. I watched my grandmother go to church every single Sunday, but we facing eviction notices. But you never saw that in her. So I watched her cover everything up. So I only
wait, because now you on a whole different. I mean, because you're smooth, you can tell a story and it just flows right into the next piece. I can tell how you vibe, right? But we got to chop it up, because what you're saying is so much detail that people we can't brush past it. What you're saying is that there are people that every single day, and I can tell you that this has happened even with me personally from time to time, that I could be out and dealing with some things personally, but in the public, I never let on that those things are happening. It's like, I don't know if it's something that's innate or trained or what is the case, but it's like, no, you don't go running around saying, I'm so down and out, I'm struggling. I just don't do that, no matter what phase of life I'm in. And I believe that the reason that I haven't done that in instances is because I believe that my Lord and Savior can actually pull me out of the situation, the muck and the mire, the thing that I may be dealing with. So I don't want anybody else to necessarily get discouraged on their journey if they're watching my life. But what do you think? Because I'm hearing your story, your take on it, and it could be damaging to people.
Yeah, it's definitely damaging depending on what you're harboring. You know what I mean? It depends definitely on what you're harboring and definitely what you're hiding. It's just like the Wizard of Oz, the yellow brick road led them to a place, right? Transparency is your yellow brick road to success.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think I am blessed to be able to reach people because of my transparency. I don't mind telling you where I'm struggling. I don't mind telling you where I hurt, because that same thing, I know whose I am and who I am. And because I'm going through a certain area in my life doesn't take away from the value that I bring to anything. So therefore, if I am struggling in an area, that don't mean I ain't got it put together. It means that I'm human. So when you do see me triumph over something, you're like, yo, he was so transparent, even in his triumph. So it brings more to it. And that's why, the word says that you're free by your testimony. And that's just not your good testimony. That's just not when you at the mountaintop. That's when you was going through the valley and you got stuck.
I agree. I agree with you. I love it. Now, Carla is on today, Carla Fry, and she was one of my guests previously about a week ago. And she was actually a victim of sexual child abuse and human trafficking as a teen. And so she said that she loves this and she understands that self-prison mentality. She says she knows the pain that you're experiencing, and she obviously has experienced it as well. Your stories are very similar and very familiar. She said you may be smiling, but people know what you're going through. They're watching you to see how you react to the situation. Absolutely. So some people, they may not know all the details, but they be like, something popping off,
Most definitely.
And so people knew with whatever you were dealing with that something was not right. They couldn't put their finger on it.
Yeah, they couldn't put their finger on it. It was just like, what's wrong with them? It was more just like a what's wrong with them, because you just acting out just because you acting out. And, growing up as an African-American male, growing up in poverty, growing up, of course, what's so wild is that as a community, when something goes wrong, we can't pinpoint it. And this is how we should look at it on a broad standpoint. When you grow up, you can't even pinpoint what could be the problem, because everybody in your family done dealt with so much pain that it could be a piece of each situation. You know what I'm saying? If you grew up without your mother, you grew up without your father, there was addiction, there was drugs, there was alcohol. There's so much pain that nobody can say, oh, this is the problem, because it's so much.
Right. So how can you pinpoint? You don't know what to pinpoint because you don't know what to attribute it to.
You have no idea.
Keep it vague. There's something going on.
Something's going on.
Okay.
So that's another reason why, you don't feel safe too, because you're watching grandma struggle, mom struggle, arguments over here, trouble with food, trouble with this. When do I say something? How can I say something that's not going to get it brushed under the rug because the rent's due, or because something else is or another problem is arising? So it's just not necessarily safe because you're physically scared, but when is it safe enough to know that I'm going to be hurt?
Wow, that you could be, I don't know if you could be a rapper, a poet, or a poem or something. You saying such soliloquy stuff that just is like way deeper than what most people can just rattle off their tongue in 2 seconds. So God giving you many other gifts over there. Listen, if you've experienced sexual assault in any way, shape, or form, whether it's been in your childhood or in adulthood, whatever, make sure that you take advantage of the sexual assault hotline. Information is 1-800-656 4673. And if you know someone else that's experienced it, and they can call, you can call anonymously, get some tips and some help if you're a person that's been in that situation. And most people that haven't been in that situation just simply can't relate. They can't relate because they don't know. So I know I can tell something from a book perspective, or I can say something from what I think based on research, but it's nothing like until you've gone through a situation yourself. Okay, absolutely. So some of the comments coming in from the studio audience, Vicki L. Evans, she's actually an author of 4 books and domestic violence survivor. She says she missed the beginning. She'll go back and watch the replay. Are you Leisha Washington Proby's husband?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. She said, oh my gosh. Oh, I just signed on. Okay, so yes, Vicki, this is it Leisha or Leisha?
Leisha.
Leisha's husband. Excellent. Agreed, Jennifer says, to whatever you were talking about. She agreed. Jennifer, so glad to have you. There has to be discernment and wisdom to how and who to share it with, and what to share. That's very, very important point too. All right. And people said, speak it. This right here, Joshua, is everybody in the studio audience. They're chiming in at the mic right now. They like, give me that mic, Kim. Give me that mic. I want to say what I want to say. So right now, Jennifer Coleman has the mic and she's saying, how do I say something? How do you say something?
You say something by just knowing that no matter what you're getting ready to say, no matter how long you've been hiding it or how long you haven't been safe enough to be able to reveal, say it and know that your safe place is in being uncomfortable. Because when you tell the truth, it's going to be uncomfortable. But you got to know that that's the safe place. The safe place is not where you've been comfortable. It's where you're uncomfortable. Because that is the journey to where change is, and that's the journey to your healing.
That's really, really good. And also keep in mind, I think that's a great answer. If you all want to come into the studio audience and come directly to say something or ask a question of my guest today, Joshua Proby, feel free to use that link and I'll pull you right into today's broadcast if you have a quick comment or question and you'd rather see them face to face virtually. Alicia is on and she says, unlearning the don't ask, don't tell mentality to learn it's okay to express what is going on, even if it's trials, traumas, and tragedy. You have to speak to release the buried pain. Wow. No wonder she your wife. Look at her. You know how normally when it's a female on and the man is in the audience, right? And they're typing, and I'll say, look at him trying to get some brownie points. Well, now I think Leisha might be trying to get some brownie points. Excellent. Okay, so tell us some more about your story.
From there, I ended up at the age of 22. I got sentenced to 12 years in prison for armed robbery and burglary. I pled guilty to the armed robbery. Pled guilty to the burglary just because it didn't look as bad on my record as an armed robbery, although they're the same class felonies. After I got sentenced to 12 years.
But this is you. This is you during this time.
Yes, that's me during that time. That's me. So
you were 22 here.
There, I was probably a little bit older because they update your. I was actually, that was a little bit older then because I had just came out of solitary confinement for 2 years, and that's when I started growing my hair. So that was a little bit after that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you got. But so when you got sentenced, you did whatever it is that they were accusing you.
Absolutely.
And you got 12 years for it.
12 years. 12 years here in North Carolina.
Oh my gosh. So no matter how much pain you were trying to inflict on somebody else, you really wasn't trying to go and be inflicting enough pain to be in no prison for 12 years, right?
Absolutely not. But pain. I was in prison mentally, emotionally, spiritually from the age of 10 up before I ever hit physical prison. You know, so prison had already had its hold on me from a mental, emotional, and spiritual standpoint. It was just only a matter of time before my inward position lined up with my physical position.
What can we do as a society to help young men or young women that are hurting at that level that you were hurting, and you were trying to cry out for help, but you didn't even know how to cry out for help, so it came out in this other act? What can we do as a society, in your opinion, to prevent people from getting to that point?
I think the biggest thing that we can do is pay attention to the details with your children the best that you can. Sometimes we get caught up in success. We get caught in the chases of life. We get caught in the hustle and bustle of life. We get caught in wanting to be recognized. We get caught in so many different things that we don't outwardly want to say, but and it doesn't give us the ability to truly tune in and pay attention to the things that we need to pay attention to. So I think paying attention to the small things, allowing your kids to express themselves, talk, to be themselves, that leaves that room open for communication that may be needed to express whatever pain, frustrations, or trauma that, you know, some kids may be experiencing. But, you know, it starts with us.
Wow. Pay attention to your children is the point he just made. Pay attention to your children, give them a chance to express themselves, and pay attention to their behavior, their actions, and anything that looks like it's out of sorts in any way, shape, or form. It can be their cry for help, but we don't even know. It's like, boy, you better get it together. Well, get what together? Why do you have to get it together now? What happened that makes you have to now get something together? So pay attention to our children, according to Joshua Proby. And if we see something that's out of sorts, what do you recommend people do, Josh?
Automatically, man, have the conversation and seek the help that's needed. I'm very strong in mental health just because I battled it for so long, especially being in solitary confinement for 2 years. I think that was the biggest challenge of my life. That right there was the darkest place in my life, but it also was the place that began to change my life.
Wow. Y'all, listen, we're talking today with Joshua Proby, and he is the founder of Peace for Poverty. And he's taken us on a journey through his life that I believe can really resonate with so many people around the world. And so please make sure that you start watch parties and encourage people to watch today's broadcast and really take advantage of the information that he's sharing today. Listen, today's episode is sponsored by snowlegal.com. Snow Legal offers legal services regarding, you know about Snow Legal?
That's my guy.
Well, you have a testimony about them?
They actually, Snow Legal, he actually was a sponsor as well for my Go Vote campaign. He teamed up with me as I teamed up with Microsoft with my nonprofit, and he got out there and we got some people who was formerly incarcerated and stuff like that registered.
Well, that's a big deal. Anytime you have a sponsor that's active in the community and goes beyond just what they're doing in their practice, that lets you know that if you get the opportunity to utilize their services, definitely take advantage of that. 704-358-0026. You can email them info@snowlegal.com. And please make sure you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show, and you can say Joshua Proby sent you their way. Let's learn more about Snow Legal now.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone. And I also want to take an opportunity to let you all know, many people ask about being able to start their own shows from scratch, how to be able to do that. What does it take as far as lighting, makeup, guests and audience, you name it. I've been working with this for many years. I actually had a show on PBS, and on the Word Network, and filmed at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio before this whole coronavirus thing made us be virtual. So I have started a 4 and an 8 week masterclass to be able to offer anyone the opportunity that wants to learn how to start their own virtual show. I'll give you the details, but you can go to kimjacobsconsulting.com, and I'll put that in the comments section, kimjacobsconsulting.com, and you can learn a lot more about the masterclasses. But here's a brief commercial that'll tell you a little bit more now. Hey everyone, I'm Kim Jacobs, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. You and I are going to have a great time as you go through this course on how to create your own online show from scratch. Everything that you need to know from A to Z, everything that I know anyway, I'm going to pour it into you. We're going to have a great time talking about what should your show even be called? Who's going to be your guest? How do you identify your target audience? How do you be able to get your studio audience engaged? What type of lighting should you use? All kinds of things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the different platforms that you should use. We're going on this journey together, so go ahead and grab your virtual seats and let's get ready to rock and roll and have a great experience as you learn how to create your own online show from scratch. All right, everyone, we're back with Joshua Proby, and he is talking to us about how to go from peace for poverty. And he's sharing his story of triumph from where he's come from, childhood molestation to going to prison for 12 years. So that's where we left off. Joshua, tell us, we're here 12 years in prison, 2 years solitary confinement, which is like, that's not even something you just say, 2 years solitary confinement. You're in a room. Paint this picture for us. What's going on? And
I'm probably in a room that's probably no bigger than your bathroom. Coming out of there only an hour a day. And that was probably the toughest part for me, not being able to know if it's night or day, no clock. It was tough for me. I broke down when I was in there, and I remember the prayer that I prayed to God. I said, Lord, take the people out of my life who mean me no good and place the people in my life who do. And I had no idea that he was going to take everybody away. And the reason why he took everybody away was because I was no good and they were no good to me until I faced the things that allowed me to value people in my life.
Wow.
So for a certain season, I had to be alone. So I ran across the Bible verse that said, be still and I know that I am God, Psalms 46:10. And it was the first time in my life that I was ever still. It was the first time in my life I couldn't run. It was the first time in my life I had to face me. There was a period of time where they have kind of like an aluminum foil, kind of like as the mirror. It's kind of like what it is. So you can't really see yourself.
Right.
So when I looked in the mirror, I could never see myself. So
wow.
I stopped looking. Because at that point in time in my life, what I came to find out was I didn't have an identity. I allowed pain to surround me for so long that I didn't have an identity. There was a time when I didn't move. I stayed in the same spot for like a month. I didn't move from out of the same spot for a whole month. And it was so many spirits coming at me that I was afraid to move. And it comes a point in time when you're battling. There's only two things that's going to come out of solitary confinement. You're either going to come out better or you're going to come out worse. Because all you have is the walls, the walls. The people kept saying, I've been here so long, I feel like the walls are talking to me. Literally, you have conversations with walls. You talk, you do everything that you can do. And that was the first time that I started writing. I began just to write, never writing to know that I was an author, but this was the way that I expressed my pain. So I started writing.
Wow.
And coming out of solitary confinement, I ended up writing 19 self-help books. But that ended up turning into books, but actually were just forms of my pain. And that's when I wrote From Prison to Spiritual Peace, because it was actually in the darkest place in my life that I found my peace. People think that that's crazy, but it was the darkest point in my life that I found my peace.
Oh my gosh, Joshua. Okay. I gotta grab my cloth because my nerves a little bit toe down here. This is a lot. What you're saying is in spiritual confinement, because you've been through it. What do you think is the main thing that people? What do they hope to have happen in that solitary confinement like that? What's the goal?
I think that, and this is like Corona, and it's so wild how things turned out. Is that I was in solitary confinement that is inhumane, right? It's not humane to be fed through a trap. It's not humane for people to come and kick on the door to make sure you're up. None of this stuff is humane, right? But you turn back around and you look at solitary confinement and what it did to everyday people out here with Corona. Because solitary confinement is only being in a place that confines you. It doesn't allow you to go far. Right. So people are always speaking negative or put their mouth on situations when we say solitary confinement is inhumane in prison.
Right.
But then you turn back around and you look at how individuals who are in the comfort of their 400,000, 300,000 homes without that inhumane activity and are already going through mental health challenges.
Wow. Wow. So you're saying it's like prison is happening even outside of whatever the system is doing. There's prison happening right in homes every day. They just aren't admitting it that they're imprisoned in their own mind, right in the comfort of these beautiful homes.
Absolutely. I've seen more people in prison outside of prison than I ever seen in prison.
You dropping knowledge, y'all. Listen, if Joshua Proby could just like teach you something out of them 19 self-help books, put a 3 in the comments. I mean, just a 3, because really it's like, in my opinion, it's forming a little heart. We're going to show a heart or some love for Joshua Proby. Definitely purchase every one of his self-help books that he has out there and share it with any young person that you know. Read it ourselves as adults so that we can be able to get out of any mental prison that we are experiencing. How do people get a copy of your book?
You can go to Amazon. It's available on Amazon for a short period of time. I just recently got a 2-book deal with Christian Faith Publishing. They just picked up both of my books. They're ones who published Creflo Dollar's books, a couple of other ministers. So I'm just amazed at that. So that will be a re-release this year. But you can currently get it from Prison to Spiritual Peace on Amazon.
Wow. Well, Nefertira is on, and Nefertira is the one that referred this wonderful guest that's here today. So thank you, Nef. You are, oh my goodness, keep the referrals coming. Okay. Because I cannot have ever stumbled upon a better guest than this young man. Such a great discussion. The Josh Proby drops gems. Yes. Yes. An amazing testimony is what Vicky says. She said, I'm just amazed at your testimony. Conversations with Walls. A good book title for a book. She's the author of 4 books. She said that right there is a good book title. She done became your agent. She said Conversation with Wall.
There it is.
That is it.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot. Be still and know that I'm God. Okay, Cherise. Hey, Cherise. She said, well, that's deep, but not having an identity. Oh, you're gonna have to go back and look at these comments, Joshua. Being, but not having an identity. Wow, what an awesome testimony, Vicky said. Okay, so lots of comments pouring in. I'm trying to get your comments on and make sure that y'all, hello, Johanna, and happy Wednesday to you, Althea. Let's see, Tanya says, awesomeness, Josh Proby. Awesomeness. This is just awesomeness. Okay, please pay attention to changes in behaviors, likes, or withdrawals. Okay. Lots of 3s came in as well. Let me tell you how I just stumbled by this, and I completely agree with everything that you're saying. Now your wife done put up there 3. She didn't put 1 3. She put 3 3 3 3 3. Okay, you're gonna have to buy her something. Take her to a special date night.
She put 3 3 3 3 up there like that because that's 12 years.
Oh,
but I'm just thinking about how she thinking. But okay.
Let me put your family up here too, because this is a great moment. Just to let me put this up here. Give me a second. Oh, Alicia, he knows you and he knows how you thinking, bae.
Yeah.
You know how you thinking out there. Let's see. Let me get some of these pictures up. Oh man, I'm just so inspired by your story. Tell me, is this a daughter?
Yes, that's my daughter. That's when I first came home. That was my first time seeing my daughter. She wasn't born when I had went away to prison. So that was my first time seeing her when I came home.
Oh my gosh. That's all of them. Your children.
Yeah, that's my son. That's my youngest. And then that's my daughter right there. Yeah.
Oh, oh my gosh. I cannot be. So your wife was pregnant when you went to prison?
No, I actually met my wife when I was in prison. My wife was the nurse at one of the prisons that I was at.
Y'all done go. Wait. Everybody know on the Kim Jacobs show. First of all, I'm gonna high five you. OMG. And then I gotta lay back in my seat. Make sure my stomach not showing.
She crazy.
Oh, now y'all know I didn't know that. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly why I don't know all the stories until I get on the show. Oh my gosh. Okay. Joshua, tell us, how did you and your wife meet?
I was at a prison camp. I think I had like 4.5 years left in prison. She was the nurse. I came into the nurse's room. I saw her, and I was like, "Man, you're beautiful." You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying in my mind. But you know, I'm trying to be smooth. So I came in and said something to her. She said, "Look here, don't even talk to me unless you're ready for marriage." And I said instantly, "I'm ready for marriage." You know what I'm saying? I'm ready because, you know, I'm locked up and I've been gone for a long time and I see something that's beautiful. So I never knew that God was going to bring us to a point that the remaining broken pieces, he was going to help us hand each other back our broken pieces so that we can fix them. Initially, physically, of course, we were attracted to each other, but God brought us together so that we can heal one another. Initially, we wanted physical because that's what we both wanted. So we kept cutting each other with broken pieces that we still had. And we were arguing and going back and forth and doing all of this stuff over and over for like a year and some change, because we kept trying to get what our flesh wanted. And God kept saying, "I'm going to bring you together, but I need you guys both to heal first." So he knew what she needed at that stage in her life, and he knew what I needed. And yeah, I met her while I was in prison, man, and she rocked with me for the 4 years until I got home, and the rest is history. I also wrote a book on that. It's called From a Caterpillar to the Butterfly: Transformation That Takes Place in a Relationship. So it actually goes through each stage of what we went through and each stage that relationships go through in life.
Y'all went through crystallysis and you were wiggling and trying to break free so that you could say, "No, I'm gonna metamorph. I'm gonna metamorph." And I metamorphed with Leisha. Oh my God, I love it. You done made me go off over here. Well, now I have a whole different appreciation for Leisha in these comments over here. That's incredible. So yeah, that's right, Vicky. Lifetime, here we come. You got a Lifetime movie. You know that, right? Man, this is just great stories.
And she's actually, my wife is the first person that I told her I was molested. It was the first time I felt safe.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's it. Wow. And when you told her that you were molested, what did you do to be able to try to bring some level of resolution, peace to your situation, even though it had happened many years prior? What did you do to kind of bring closure to that piece of your life?
Actually, that piece began when I was in solitary confinement because I had to start forgiving him. And I think when people say forgiveness, they think it's something that's going to happen instant. It happens instant with God, but there's a process for it to be implemented in your everyday life.
Yes.
So in that process, I had to start then, because before I even knew her, I had to already be developing a state of forgiveness. And it was finally when I told her And I told her, you know, I broke down and I was crying. I was like, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, and this happened to me. And the way she kept it and held it kind of like a newborn is, even though, you know, it's kind of like if you can picture a mother holding her child, but there's a onslaught of people trying to come at her child.
Oh.
She's crying, but she's holding her child, still protecting it. Right. And that kind of like, even though she was fighting her own demons, her own pain, her own everything, that one thing that I told her, she still held it like a baby and protected it. And that's the thing that I value to this day, man. I value the fact that she protected one of the most vulnerable things that I could ever express. And I think that's a lot of what helped me grow in forgiveness, but also it helped me grow as a man.
Wow. Listen, we're talking with Joshua Proby today, and he's sharing his story of triumph, being molested as a young person and then going to prison for 12 years, being in solitary confinement for 2 of those years, and then meeting the love of his life, Leisha, who was a nurse. Y'all, if y'all just tuning in, y'all done missed something. You need to go back and watch the replay, start a watch party, because y'all do not want to miss. You know how you watching a show, and so you be like, do not miss one moment of today's show. You want to go back, start from the beginning when I didn't realize we were live and I'm live already. Go all the way back. So you're going to just come all the way up to where we are now. So Joshua, lots of things have transpired in your life since you got out of prison. Tell us some of the great things.
I've been out of prison for 2 years and some change now. Came home May 27, 2018. Stumbling almost on 3 years. Please note that 84% of people who serve over 10 years in prison return back to prison or return back to the streets. 84%. I've been out for 2.5 years. I have my own clothing line. I have my nonprofit. I have a trucking company where I've employed 16 formerly incarcerated men. I've linked up with a Black real estate group where within the last week, we've given houses to 7 people who were once homeless, who now have places to stay. I'm an author. I'm a international author now that my book has got picked up by a major publishing company, and I have a Netflix documentary on the way. So God has blessed me tremendously. I can't even, if anybody asked me how I got here, I would not be able to give you a blueprint of how I got here, because there's no blueprint. I could give you the encouragement. I can give you the process and what it takes. I have the Next Great 50 program right now where we focus on credit. We focus on business credit. We focus on character building, mental health, and establishing your LLC. That is going on right now. Microsoft has actually teamed up with me with that. We have students getting ready to graduate from that, and it's absolutely free. So many people told me that it couldn't be done. They said that, you know, you can't put all of that underneath one umbrella. There's no way that you can do that. And I said, nah, yes, you can. I said, because this is what our community needs, and they need it because I know it. And if they get their credit right, then they can start their business. And if they start their business, I want to teach them that, hey, just because you got a business don't mean you can go in the bank and ask for a loan. Let's go fix this and let's go fix this. So you don't got to make the same mistakes I did trying to figure it out on my own. And I'm not going to attach a $10.99, a $7.99, a $4.99 to it. I'm going to beat down the doors of these successful Black-owned credit businesses and say, hey, these people need your services for free. And when I am able to compensate, I will compensate you, but your community needs you. And God gave me enough yeses to be able to start it. And that's what it's all about. It's about changing the system and changing the narrative, and using the platform that I have. And I'm the chair of the NAACP here in Charlotte for criminal justice. Those are some of the brothers that work for me at a trucking company, just filling out the on-dot, getting them health coverage, just doing everything that they said you couldn't do. That's me downtown leading, I think it was over 10,000 people down there for the march, and just knowing that it's never about the platform. I don't care nothing about the platform. The only thing that I care about is that my purpose stands taller than me on any platform that I'm on.
Mm.
And as long as my purpose shows before me, then the job is being done.
Oh my gosh. I am overjoyed with your journey. And, it's hard to be like this excited about somebody spending 12 years in federal prison and dealing with molestation, but to see the outcome of what God has in store for your life is just absolutely inspiring. And it gives me hope to know that people can change. And that's what happened with you. You changed. You're a new creature, new person. I say creature because I'm always talking from a biblical perspective, but you're a new person, you're not an animal, you're, a new creature in Christ type of thing, in my opinion, and I have to pull this up. We know I have to take a moment to pull this beautiful queen. Thank you, Shannon, for getting that for me. Yes, look at her. And she is so happy. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you all. Very, very excited. Okay. All right. So today's episode is also sponsored in part. I don't got y'all, the whole show I'm doing I'm doing the most over here at this point, right? Like Kim is like, what? Why is she going in on that level? Yes. Okay. So I am going to take a moment to acknowledge my next episode sponsor. They'll be like, I don't know, whatever you got going on, you better acknowledge me and I'm sponsored that show. Get it back together, Kim. Yes, today's episode is also sponsored in part by Hunter Everidge Law Firm. Hunter Everidge Law Firm deals a lot with Social Security, disability, and they also deal with wrongful death suits. And actually, Attorney Everidge is going to be coming on. He has Attorney Charles Everidge Corner, and he's going to be talking on Monday from 11:30 to 11:45 about how to deal with a wrongful death suit if you have a family member that's passed away wrongfully due to some fault of not being their own. Their phone number is 704-377-9157. Again, 704-377-9157. Make sure that you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you to them. They are in the Richmond area and they're also in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Let's learn.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter and Everidge, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone, we are back with Joshua Proby right here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and learned quite a bit already. In this 1 hour, it's like action-packed, right? Don't you feel, Joshua, there's a lot done in an hour?
Yeah, it was. It was perfect, though. I enjoyed it.
Well, guess what, guys? I will tell you, we do have what we call like an after party type of thing. So the only way you could get to unlock that kind of content is if you are a part of the Patreon membership. So go be a part of patreon.com/Kim Jacobs Show so you can actually get to unlock some after party content that never gets revealed on the actual show. And I'm telling you, people go in. Yeah. The after party is the mask is all. You already got to get your mind right, Joshua, and tell us something you did not tell us on the show.
Okay. All right, cool.
It's no joke. You can't come back there and be like, so anyway, back regular. No, we got after party.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, you got us?
I got you.
All right, y'all. So listen, I'm telling you, if you're not a member of the Patreon membership, go to patreon.com/Kim Jacobs Show. Sign up for your monthly membership and you can unlock all of the after party content that comes on the show. All right, tell us any other things that you want us to know. We talked about your books, and everyone can get a copy of the 19 different books right now while you still can. You can go to Amazon, and we put that in the comment section as well for you. So tell us some more.
Well, I wrote 19. 2 are currently under publishing.
Okay.
So that's the Cancers of Our Lives, and then that's the From Prison to Spiritual Peace.
Wow.
Have not released the other ones just yet.
Okay.
Lots of conversations in regards to them. Just trying to release them in the times that the way God gave them to me. Not so much just because I got the books and I can get the money and let me do it. Just still keeping that value to them.
Good. Okay. And I like that. Be methodical in your process. So now you've been out of prison, you said, for 2.5 years. That's not a long time.
Nah, it's not. It's gonna take me a while to get tired of what some people already get tired of. So I'm not even 3-4 years in, man. So I'm grateful for what God has me. I'm grateful for it.
And tell us about Peace for Poverty.
Peace for Poverty is my nonprofit. And the reason why I say peace for poverty, because there is peace for poverty. Poverty is not just an outward situation. It is a situation that begins internally first, before it ever is seen from a physical standpoint. So I wanted people to know that there is peace for the lack of. Poverty is defined as lack of. For the lack of self-confidence, for the lack of self-esteem, for the lack of growth, for the lack of anything that you have, there's peace for that. So we find the ways to have solutions through entrepreneurship that allow individuals to find their worth. And the main reason why I came up with that is because I know so many people in the community that are talented, so many people that just need that extra help. And the reason why they can't get it is because if it comes down to them paying their rent or daycare, as opposed to fixing their credit or getting an LLC, the first thing that they're going to do is pay their rent and pay their daycare respectively. So the only way that you're able to help them is if you take away their price and you give it to them for free. So the only money that they spend are the things that they invest in themselves. Right.
That's good. So how can people stay connected with Peace for Poverty?
You can go to peaceforpoverty.org. We will be having another Next Great 50 class coming up in around August.
Okay.
So, I hope you guys is ready for that. We got some people coming out of there, credit scores going crazy, and already getting ready for funding, man, to expand their business. So exciting.
So everyone, listen, go to peaceforpoverty.org to learn more about the programs that Joshua Proby is overseeing and the projects and the people that he's helping to transition properly out of prison so that they have gainful employment. He has a trucking business, clothing business. He's an author. He's married to the love of his life and lots of different projects, a beautiful family. And it's just the beginning of Joshua Proby's new lease on life. Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. This show is dope. I like the whole layout. You got the commercials popping. You got the whole nine. I felt like I'm on the Oprah show. Like, I don't know. Hey, Oprah, you go ahead and step back. I'm good. You know, I got the whole feel right here. I got the color banners. I got the books in the background, the popping red seat. I got everything going right here. I'm good.
Well, hello. Tell people to subscribe. Tell them while you're talking. Go ahead. I ain't gonna try to interrupt you or nothing. Tell them to please subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. It's right on YouTube too. Go ahead.
Please subscribe.
Wait. I'm gonna remove my whole self from the screen. You.
Hey, I need y'all to please subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube. Show very professional. Show is live. Show is interesting. It is informative. She engages. She knows what she's doing. And she segues into commercials just like you are actually on TV. So I need y'all to go to YouTube right now. And you see it at the screen to Kim Jacobs Show and make sure you subscribe.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll pay you later. I'll pay you. Just joking. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being on today. I thought it was just absolutely incredible. Anybody learned anything today about this young man's transformative journey through life, just go ahead and put a 5 in the comments. Give a high five again. I know we talked about 5 earlier, but just give them a high five. Any closing comments of people that are tuned in today? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Tanya said she's doing a praise dance. Vicky, girl, hey, how you doing, Queen? So they're in the studio audience talking to each other. Your wife and Vicky, they sit beside each other. They're like, girl, that's my man. Girl, I can't believe. And they're in the studio audience having a good time. So that's a good thing. Good thing. In the virtual studio audience. Let's see. Mother Patricia Lofton. She's actually our state supervisor of women in the Church of God in Christ. And she said in the North Carolina, it's a whole state of North Carolina and South Carolina and parts of Virginia anyway. She teaches a lot of us as women. What a wonderful story. God bless you, Joshua, for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And wow, you are so awesome. So awesome. I am so overjoyed too, Kim. My girl, Leisha. y'all can have yourselves a good old country time. Y'all can stay in the studio audience even after the show is over, but you could even have more fun if y'all both were at the after party by becoming Patreon members, patreon.com/Kim Jacobs Show. Y'all be able to get right in here and talk with my guest, but that's just for the members. And so if you're not a member, I don't know what to do. All right, let's see. Josh is amazing. And his wife is also. He has helped me understand things about being in the system while I was dealing with someone a few years ago. Wow, very good. I'm glad I signed on when I did. So amazing. All right. Thank you, Mother Lofton. Okay, Tay gave a hand cut. Look at that haircut on that. Oh man, he can slay some head.
Tay, keep them things spinning now. He keep them things spinning.
Wow, I mean, that person barely even have hair, and he has he has waves on his scalp. What's happening? That is amazing, Tay.
That's what we do when the only thing that we do when we was in prison was brush our hair to make sure our hair was good. So the hair of those who come out is immaculate. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Vicky gave a 5, lots of 5s. Vicky said, awesome, good to see you. And I've learned so much from your husband. They still talking in the studio audience, y'all. We just interrupted their conversation. Okay. Right. Okay. And then Vicky said, oh, she's Oprah's replacement. Yeah, Oprah, you know, can't nobody feel no Oprah shoes. Oprah shoes are huge. But if I can just even walk beside or even hold on to the coattail of Oprah, I'll be honored. You know? Okay, let's see. Tay making people seasick with them waves. Yes, that's exactly what that barber is doing. All right, everybody, let me make sure I share. I have one more episode guest that I would like to acknowledge. Episode sponsor. Today's episode is also sponsored by Time to Level Up. Now, listen, everyone, Time to Level Up is a conference that's taking place this weekend. You do not want to miss this Time to Level Up Summit. There are going to be some tremendous speakers. There are about 21,000 or so participants that tune in for this event. It's a free conference. You do not want to miss it. All you have to do is go to timetolevelup.com. Kern Cherry is the person that founded this whole project. And some of the speakers, when I say are super dynamic, you're going to learn so much information by visiting and being a part of this entire weekend's conference. Let me take you to their page and give you a chance to see. There it is. Time to Level Up. The speakers, I'm telling you, it's off the chain. All you have to do when you go to timetolevelup.com is click up there, put your name, your email, your phone number, and you get your free ticket to be in this virtual conference. You do not want to miss this because it's their mission at the Level Up Summit to bring together the best, the brightest, most brilliant entrepreneurs, business leaders, world changers, and difference makers. 3 days of connection, creation, and contribution. So some of the speakers, you can go right on that page and you'll be able to see all of the different speakers that they have lined up for you. And it is some amazing things. And you can tell, look at them with their attitudes. They're going to take y'all to the mountaintop. Okay. So you definitely do not want to miss this wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Time to Level Up Summit. And that's timetolevelup.com. Go ahead and get your free ticket. And if you get a chance to tell them that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you, make sure you type in Kim Jacobs referred me. All right. I am excited. I cannot end today without saying one more thing, because I got to tell y'all this, and I'll type it in the comments right quick. But if I don't say this, my son will be like, Mom, you had a whole show and you know it's my birthday. You know it's my birthday. He's so big on sending a shout out. Today is my son, Jeremiah Jacobs' 16th birthday. Woo-hoo! That's Jeremiah Jackson Jacobs is in the house. He turned 16 today. And as you can see, he is an actor, by the way, and he plans to be the first African-American actor that's going to be nationwide, international, as a young man with cystic fibrosis, a lung disease. He's kicking that theory in the head, and he said he wants to inspire the world by being, he actually wants to be the first, just so you know the real deal, he wants to be the first Black Spider-Man. So he wants to be Miles Morales, the first Black Spider-Man thing, right? So this is him right here. He can do it.
He got it.
He got it.
He got it.
Jeremiah got that.
Yeah, he got that.
That's my son, y'all. He's 16 today. You can't tell Jeremiah nothing. He believes in these goals and his dreams, and he is going to make this thing happen. So celebrate with me today and send a shout out to my son, Jeremiah. And he always said, "Mom, don't forget to say my Cash App in case anybody ever want to be a blessing." So I will tell you real quickly that his Cash App, which he don't even have Cash App, it's so funny. Cash App, if you want to send him anything, is Kim Jacobs and number 1. And that's technically for Jeremiah, his Cash App for his birthday. I'll get it all to him. Kim Jacobs 1. I don't care if you send him $1, he'll be happy. He'll be like, somebody send that to me. Cash App Jeremiah for his birthday. Kim Jacobs 1. All right, Joshua, any closing comment?
I'm just so grateful. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. Your show is dope, and just thank you. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Well, thank you. And thank you all, everyone, for tuning in today. We're going to go ahead and close out this episode. I went a few minutes longer because I wanted to make sure that this story was just incredible. And I was like, no, we're not going to end right on time. But hey, make sure you all tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a serial entrepreneur that's going to be coming on, and her name is Cynthia Rogers, and she is a serial entrepreneur and innovator. So what does it take to be a serial entrepreneur? I actually have the wrong flyer there. But anyway, is serial entrepreneur. She'll be on tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure. And Shannon's backstage putting one finger up, because we knew that there was an error on one of the flyers, right? So, and I think I pulled that was the one that had the error on it. And she was like, Kim, she's doing like this in the backstage. Like, you only have one job, Kim, one. Right. And you put the wrong flyer. I pulled the wrong flyer. So, and she's backstage joking me, of course. Anyway, everybody, tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. And then Friday is Freestyle Friday right here on the Kim Jacobs Show as well. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out. Thank you, Joshua. You just blessed us so much today. God has a special blessing in your life.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow at 11. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show.